Can you remember the last time you lost it over something that just wasn't that big a deal? We all have a time when you find yourself yelling or arguing or pouting, and when you're done, you can't even remember what the whole thing was about. That's because a lot of the time it's not even about what you're screaming or pouting or arguing about. There's something deep going on when we have these emotional eruptions. You can't love God and love people if you're a slave to your overreactions caused by these triggers. Once I can see my trigger, I have to start by taking responsibility for my emotional reaction. And we can't blame and say, hey, if you hadn't, then I wouldn't have. No, it's my reaction, it's my responsibility, and it steals, kills, and destroys not only relationships, it steals, kills, and destroys my peace and joy and love that God's Spirit wants to give me. And His Spirit can do that no matter who does what to me or what circumstance I find myself in. Now, I can have peace. I can have joy. Even if they don't change, even if this doesn't change. I can be loving and peaceful and patient and kind. Folks, this is a part of the very good news of life in Jesus. This is the gospel. Remember last week we talked about how you have a perspective. You have the first story, but the other person has another perspective. We call that the second story. Your story is true, but it's not completely the truth. It's incomplete. And their story has truth, but it's incomplete. Only God has the third story. That's the bigger story of reality that makes sense of all the little stories. And so we got to go after them. But we have these core needs, and usually when you're triggered, it ties back to a threat toward one of these core needs. Like core need for validation, or need for respect, for appreciation, for loving connection, the need for companionship, for belonging, for acceptance, to realize you can make your own choices. God gives that freedom to us. That's our free will. Values like stability and peace and comfort and pleasure, fun and rest and purpose. So you start asking yourself, when you get triggered, is there a core need that feels threatened? That's really in danger? Or is it just a perceived danger? Maybe it's tied to some painful memory that, it really did threaten a core need way back then, but it's not still true today. And what does God say is true about you today?